Aloha, everyone, and welcome. We're going to go ahead and get started here in just a few minutes. So go ahead and kick back, relax, and we'll be starting shortly. Aloha, everyone, welcome. We're going to go ahead and get started in just a few minutes. So go ahead, kick back, relax, and we'll start shortly. Aloha, everyone. For those who are just joining us, we'll get started here shortly. So just go ahead and kick back, relax, and we'll start in just a moment. Right, everyone, aloha and welcome. Thank you all so much for joining us this afternoon. We are so excited to be able to talk to both the accepted students as well as the students who have currently applied and are awaiting their decision. We know that all of you that have lots and lots of questions. We actually got over 300 questions in our Q&A. So thank you guys so much already for submitting those questions early. Of course, just as a reminder, if you guys have more questions, definitely feel free to go ahead and put those in the chat. We're going to try to get to as many as we can. We can't promise we'll get to all of them. However, the good news is I will be sharing more information about what we have. Is we have a Discord page now. Both Michaela and I are on there. So we'll post the questions and answers from the session onto there later on, but just give us sort of a week or so because there's a lot of questions. We want to make sure to answer them properly. So just as a reminder, this is webinar style, so you all can see us, however, we cannot see you. So definitely just make sure to keep putting those questions in the chat. You guys may not see the questions populate necessarily there. We actually have a separate document where we're organizing all of the questions, so don't worry about that. Also, just so you guys know, we are recording this presentation, so do not worry if you missed part of it or want some of it repeated. It will all be in our YouTube channel later on. So I apologize. Yeah, make sure to put the questions in the Q&A, not the chat. Thanks. And so just to formally introduce ourselves, my name is Amber Owens. I'm one of the admissions counselors here at the University of Hawaii at Manoa. I help out with the territories of the Midwest, Alaska, Nevada, and then also California. And I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Jose.
How's it, aloha students? Thank you for joining us for our webinar. I'm also admissions counselor. My name is Jose Magno. I'm in charge of the Hawaii region, so the entire state of Hawaii. So for any of our local students, I'll be your point of contact. Definitely excited to have you guys log on, learn more about UH Manoa. Hopefully we can address a lot of your questions that you might have for the fall.
Perfect, thanks Jose. Michaela.
Hello everybody, my name is Michaela Marie, but you guys can call me M&M like the candy, not the rapper. I'm a senior at UH Manoa. I'm studying Pacific Island Studies and I'm getting a minor in philosophy. Now, I was originally born in Guam, but my dad joined the military when I was very young, so I moved to Japan, England, Alaska, California, and then I finally moved here. So if you guys have any questions about adjusting to life here, moving to here on island, or housing, things like that, feel free to ask, and then I will.
Hey, thanks so much, Michaela. We appreciate you joining us. So definitely students, if you have questions about those, student life side of things, please by all means let us know. Just go ahead and keep putting those questions in the Q&A. We'll be happy to answer them. So for those students who have applied but are still awaiting your decisions, we appreciate your guys' patience. We know that we've had actually a significant amount of applications, more than ever before. So we do all of our application decisions manually. We do approach it more holistically. So, with it being test optional this year, it's taken us a little bit more time than normal. So if you guys haven't heard back in 8 to 10 weeks, please, by all means, go ahead and on the screen, you guys will see is that QR code that says where you can go ahead and check your status. Just know, at this time, it takes approximately 8 to 10 weeks. So if you guys know you're around that time point or so, I'm going to go ahead and in the chat, I'm going to put a link that you guys can all use to check your status. But please note, we do that manually. So basically with checking the application status, we have to do it manually, so it's not going to be like you submit the form and it's instant thing. So, but just some other reminders for our students who have applied. Notifications are being sent via email only, and even for the students who have been accepted. If you've been accepted via email, unfortunately at this time we're only doing everything virtually. We are actually still all working from home as well. So just go ahead and note that acceptance via email is the official acceptance. So just make sure to keep checking your email if you haven't heard back from us. That is where you'll be let know of the decision. Also, things to think about is the application portal. I know personally, I've gotten so many great questions asking, I'm in the application portal. It says you haven't received this and this. Why is that I sent it in? Just note that the application portal is completely standard. It is the same for everyone. So regardless of what information you have previously sent us, it's just an auto thing. So if you guys have questions, if we've received certain documents, or if you guys want to add anything on later on, so maybe you guys want to add on like a personal statement or a list of accomplishments or a letter of recommendation, by all means, it is not required, but I'll go ahead and put some links in the chat of how you guys can add those extra documents to your application. If there's anything you also need to modify to the application, definitely just shoot an email to our manoa.admissions@hawaii.edu, and we'll be super happy to assist you with that. We also do have virtual appointments as well for our admissions counselors. Applied students, we're going to go ahead and now gear this more towards the accepted students and just a little bit more about student life. But want to make sure that you guys know that we are working quite heavily on your applications. And of course, if you are to be accepted, all of this information is relevant to you, which is why we invited you guys to this as well. So here, we're going to go ahead and jump into a little bit more about that admissions timeline. What can you expect? What is happening? You're like, okay, I've applied. What happens now? So like I mentioned before, it does take about 8 to 10 weeks to receive your admissions decision. Sometimes sooner. We always try to make it sooner, of course. All of our scholarships, I know some have already passed, but we do have others coming up. We'll talk more in detail about that shortly. Then, of course, this month, our student housing application will be opening. So we'll have more information about that later on as well. For those who are wondering about your financial aid packages, those will begin being distributed in March. So if you've clicked on that link that says view my financial aid status and it shows nothing, do not be afraid. It's okay. Everyone's is doing the same thing right now. And then the intent to enroll deadline and student housing deadline is going to be coming up on May 1st. So you guys have plenty of time. We're still just under 3 months away from that deadline. And then our fall 2021 course registration will be coming up in May. We do have a health clearance deadline coming up in July. And our tuition deadline and classes begin in August. I will give those official dates at the very end in a summary of the exact official dates of everything. But just wanted to give you guys at least a kickoff with an idea of what the timeline is like. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Jose to talk to you a little bit more about that new Warrior checklist and the first step of creating your MyUH account.
So when you guys should, within your acceptances, you guys should have received a link to our new Warrior checklist. That's going to be found on our main admissions page as well. So when you go to manoa.hawaii.edu/admissions, it's going to have a accepted tab. If you click on the accepted tab, it's going to actually show you step by step exactly what you need to turn in and important deadlines and the links to turn those items in. So actually Amber put that in chat in terms of the accepted student page. But the first step for you as an accepted student is to create your MyUH account. And the reason being that is all correspondence for a university is going to be done virtually through email. And once you create your MyUH email account, it gets you access to different portals like your MyUH, Laulima. And also gives you access to your main University of Hawaii Google account. So your hawaii.edu email. On the MyUH portal, that's where you would log in and you would view your financial aid package beginning in March. And also through STAR, it gives you access to STAR. That's where you register for classes and everything else that's related to the University of Hawaii system and the University of Hawaii at Manoa. All the services will be through the various portals that you get access to once you generate your UH email account. So basically, in your acceptance, when you do receive your acceptance, it's going to provide your student ID number. You go to that main website through ITS and you can generate your username and password. And that's going to be your username and password your entire duration as a UH Manoa student. So in terms of a summary for our costs for the university, just pictured here, depending on geographically where you're from, this is going to be our tuition breakdown. If you are a Hawaii State resident, your tuition is going to be $11,304. If you're from the Western states, so that's Alaska, Oregon, Washington, California, Nevada, Arizona, South Dakota, North Dakota, Colorado, anything west of the Rockies, we participate in a program called the Western Undergraduate Exchange Scholarship. So basically, because you reside in a Western state, we actually reduce your tuition. So when you are accepted, if you're from a Western state and you've been admitted, you should be automatically given the Western Undergraduate Exchange tuition. For any reason, if you are quoted as non-resident, you can contact our office, and once you fill out a specific form, we can change you over to the Western Undergraduate Exchange. Okay, the only requirement for the tuition reduction is to be from a Western state and get admitted. It applies for all majors, even if you're coming in as undeclared or you're going through exploratory majors. For all of our other students who are from the Midwest, the East Coast, and international, your tuition figure is there. So the estimates on that are going to be based on the highest estimates for student housing, also personal expenses that you could possibly spend per year. So these are just estimates. These are going to be fluctuating depending on where you're from and how much you spend for your meal plan, the type of student housing you are assigned to in the fall. So the only firm costs are going to be your tuition and your university fees. Everything else is going to fluctuate. So it's going to be a lot less than what's estimated there. Okay. Also keep in mind financial aid and scholarships, those are all forthcoming. So for financial aid, the financial aid application for FAFSA has been up and live. So please apply for financial aid. It is a first come, first served basis. And depending on when you apply, that's when disbursements are going to be sent to your MyUH portal. You just log on to MyUH, you click on the financial aid tab. It's going to tell you all the loans, grants, scholarships, and everything that you received. So you can factor that into your decision whether or not you actually decide to enroll with us. Okay, so you're going to be notified through your MyUH portal, so through your email. And if you have any questions, you can contact financial aid directly. So any questions, discrepancies, anything regarding financial aid, if you're selected for verification, you're missing anything, please contact financial aid directly. Do not contact the Office of Admissions. It's best if you contact them directly because they'll give you the ins and outs in terms of what's what you're missing. We can tell you if you applied, but in terms of any of the other intricacies, please contact financial aid directly. They do have a virtual help desk that you can access, which runs during the week. Scholarships. So scholarships, for the most part, are New Warrior scholarships. The deadlines have already passed. They were in January. However, we do have some upcoming deadlines for scholarships. We have the STAR database of scholarships, which the deadline is going to be February 15th. So that's coming up in only less than a week. So on the STAR portal, we have close to almost $9 million worth of scholarships annually. And basically, you just put in your information. It's going to tell you exactly what scholarships you qualify for, and you can start applying for those scholarships. So just keep in mind, there's a lot of money there. There's millions of dollars that you can access as a student, but the deadline is going to be February 15th. If you miss this deadline, you can access a STAR database of scholarships every year until you graduate. So this is accessible every year. Usually the portal opens up in October, closes February. We also have the UH system, so the University of Hawaii system scholarships, which are going to be due March 1st. So the University of Hawaii system includes the University of Hawaii at Manoa, University of Hawaii Hilo, West Oahu, and the 7 community colleges. Okay, so as much money as you can obtain towards your college-related costs, apply for scholarships through both of these portals. Okay, and New Warrior scholarships decisions, we're currently in the process of reviewing any student that has applied for the New Warrior scholarships. If you turn in everything on time, we're currently in the review process of all the students that applied. So you should be notified by email whether or not you've been a recipient of one of those scholarships starting in March. If you have any questions about your scholarships in general, you can scan that QR code, or you can email manoa.scholarships@hawaii.edu. Okay. McKillen, do you want to chime in terms of scholarships at all? If you applied for scholarships on STAR?
The one thing I will say is that just apply, because there's millions of dollars in scholarships that don't get given out because not enough people apply. We even have a story where one of our admissions counselors talked about like her friend applying for a scholarship that completely didn't apply to him. Like he was a marine biology major applying for a woman in STEM almost like scholarship, and he got it because no one else applied for it. So genuinely just apply and then just see where it goes from there, because we have the money to give out.
Okay, for student housing, as an incoming freshman, you are not required to live on campus. However, if you do get your application into us by May 1st, we give you priority housing. So make sure to turn in your housing application by May 1st. Once again, Amber mentioned that the application for housing came out in February, so a couple weeks ago, actually last week. So make sure to start applying for housing. Your housing assignments will be sent to you sometime in the summer, and late summer is when you can start selecting your meal plans. And then the move-in day is usually the Tuesday or Wednesday before the first day of instruction. But you'll get all that information forthcoming as within the next couple months, and you'll be bombarded with all these important dates sometime in the summer. You also have the opportunity to apply for your own roommate. Request your roommate if you know another student who's come to UH Manoa. Just make sure to specify their student ID number on your application, and that student puts your student number on their application, so it's full circle. Other than that, you fill out this random questionnaire, and you're going to be paired with a student, another student who matches your profile. So there's ways for you to even select a roommate other than just going random. But any questions about housing and all that, you can scan that QR code. I'm going to hand it over to Michaelin, who's going to just share some perspective with you guys about living on campus and the benefits of that.
Although it is not mandatory to live on campus, I highly recommend it to live at least your first year on in our student housing, because that's where you're going to make a lot of your friends and make a lot of relationships that you're going to have like throughout your college or even life, because you are able to go into environments where you're just surrounded by students, you're all struggling through tests and professors and things like that, so you can create really great bonds, as well as the fact we have really great food on campus. We are written about in Forbes magazine. I'm a huge foodie. I love it. We have two student housing cafeterias. We have Gateway Cafeteria and Hale Aloha Cafeteria. On Thursdays, you can actually go to the premium night where they have like steak and they'll have like specialty dishes like shrimp alfredo or even local plate lunches, katsu, things like that. It's super good. And the way like the housing meal plan works is you either have 7, 9, 10, or 15 meals per week, and those work based off like a sort of like swiping thing. Method where you would go into a cafeteria and then you take one swipe and that gets rid of one of your swipes for the week, or you can use it for a monetary value down either at our campus cafeteria down in campus center, where you can buy things like bentos or burgers, and that's a $5.50 value for each meal swipe. And then we also have like a little convenience store or like kind of 7-Eleven-esque thing called the market, where you can spend the rest of your meal swipes as they expire on each Saturday night. So it's a really cool process. I got by with just 10 my first 2 years, and I was doing perfectly fine, eating well, eating a little bit too much, if I may say. Freshman 15 is a real thing. Be careful about that. But yeah, I highly recommend going at least your first year. You also get to do a lot of cool events. Like I've been to a silent disco. I've been able to make candles and like aromatherapy things, and it's just so great.
Great. Thanks, Michaela. So do you mind taking over for course registration?
Yeah, sure. So another important part about enrolling with us for the fall will be registering for classes and also meeting with our academic advisor. This is probably the most challenging, probably the scariest thing about starting off in college is knowing what courses to select. In college, you're responsible for your own schedule. You're not going to be going to school every day. You can start at 7 in the morning and end by 11. You can start at 12 p.m. and end at 4. You can go to school Monday, Wednesday, Friday, only Tuesday, Thursdays. I mean, there's no right or wrong way to do your college schedule. So for course registration and checklist, first and most important is to meet with your academic advisor. So there's a QR code right there that you can scan, and it's going to take you to our Manoa advising guide. It's going to have the contact email and the contact person for every major, even those that are undeclared. So please meet with your academic advisor. You can start doing that now, even if you're from the continent. Everything's going to be virtual and remote. So most of the departments have a virtual system where you can put in a specific day and time and you can meet with them. So meet with your academic advisor as soon as you can. You can actually, when you meet with them, you'll determine if you need to take placement exams. Usually if you're gonna go into something STEM related or math or science based, you do have to take a placement for math and chemistry. And those are all gonna be virtual. And you have the option of taking a language placement exam. To graduate from the University of Hawaii, you actually have to take foundation courses in terms of culture. So these can be like 4 semesters of specific language, a combination of different language courses, study abroad, and so forth. But if you have taken courses at the high school level and you want to test into a higher level or potentially get credit for that, you have the option of taking language placement exam as well. So when you do talk to your academic advisor, they'll talk to you a little bit more about placement exams and when those are going to occur during the summer. If you are a transferring student from a community college, we will do a transfer credit evaluation for you as long as we get your official transcripts sent to our office. So it has to come directly from your institution or your community college and sent directly to us before we can actually do a transfer credit evaluation. This is going to take some time, so please bear with us. If you've already been accepted, you are a transfer student, you turn in your transcripts, your transfer credit evaluation should be in process. But once that transfer credit evaluation is completed, we're going to load your STAR GPS profile, and it's going to load all the courses that have already transferred over. And when you meet with your academic advisor, they'll be able to determine the remaining courses required for you to graduate from that program. So registration for courses is going to be done through STAR GPS. So registration begins May 24th, and you can find out your official registration day and time on STAR. It's typically emailed and posted in April. Okay, so just keep in mind registration is going to be done through STAR. It's going to be in May. So once again, make sure to meet with your academic advisor starting now until that May timeframe, so that you can get a head start in terms of determining what courses to start taking. We also have the opportunity for you as an incoming freshman to sign up for our first year programs. So the Access to College Excellence and first year programs, these are major specific learning communities or clusters. So if you are, let's say, going into pre-med, we have a pre-med cluster, we have engineering clusters, nursing clusters. You register for this cluster, and basically it registers you for 3 to 4 courses. So when you start on campus, you're automatically in the same courses with 15 to 20 other students, and you have a current student who's your mentor to help you transition from the high school to college setting. So the Access to College Excellence and first year programs, you can start signing up for these ACE clusters also in May. So if you have any questions, if you scan that QR code, it's going to bring you to the first year programs page, and you can contact them directly. Okay, we also have a Warrior webinar, which is really important. Okay, so I mentioned registration can be a little confusing. So we have a Warrior webinar on April 14th. So that other QR code, please scan that and register for a Warrior webinar specifically for registration. They'll walk you through the ins and outs in terms of how to register, how to meet with your academic advisor if you haven't done so already, and how to register for Access to College Excellence and first year programs. Okay, and then in terms of other things related to your application, AP exams, if you've taken AP courses as a high school student, make sure to send your courses, actually your scores over to us so we can give you college equivalent credit. Same thing for IB exams as well. And then for all of our transfer students, our transfer credit database, there's a QR code there just in case you want to do a preliminary determination of what courses have already transferred before we actually get your transfer credit evaluation over to you.
All right, perfect. Thanks so much, Jose, for going over all of that great information, next steps. Just kind of reiterating some important dates is definitely be sure, oops, let me just make sure I got my last thing. Sorry, I'm just putting some of those links in for the transfer credit evaluation. They're going to be put into the chat. So just reiterating some of those important dates, just because I know we've been getting a lot of questions coming in. So just a reminder that the May 1st is the date to submit your intent to enroll and tuition deposit. We recommend not submitting that intent to enroll and tuition deposit until you are 100% sure that you're wanting to come to Manoa. The tuition deposit is $200 and it is non-refundable. So that's why we say make sure you know you want to come before you go ahead and submit that. Our student housing application will be opening up this month. So it should be opening up pretty much what we've been told is any day now. So just expect to receive notification on that soon. We will also make sure to go ahead and post that on social media. So if you guys follow us on Instagram, or if you're joining that Discord server, we'll be posting all of that information on it as well. Like Jose said, May 23rd is when our fall 2021 class registration begins. For those who are wondering, we do have a health clearance form deadline coming up on July 15th, so plenty of time to go ahead online and submit that. August 19th is when the tuition payment deadline will be, so you guys still have plenty of time for that. We do offer payment plans as well. So if that is something that you would prefer to do, definitely just check out our accepted student checklist and it'll go over all of that information on that website. And of course, the first day of school is going to be on August 23rd. I know, of course, we have a lot of students asking questions of when move-in will be. Typically, move-in will take place the week before school starts. We don't have the official date yet. Usually they announce that closer to the start of the semester once you have your housing assignments and such. So just note, just think August 23rd, that Monday's first day of school, it'll be sometime the week before. So we'll have more notification once it gets closer. So I know, of course, there's definitely so many different ways to get around campus. I know McKaylin has lived all over the world and I come from California as well. So we both made it around without a car. There's plenty of ways to do it. I have a car now and it was really expensive to ship. So students from the mainland, don't ship your car. It costed me $1,500 from the LA port. It's not worth it. So McKaylin, what are some ways that you like to what types of modes of transportation do you use, and what do you recommend for new students, especially with the apps and such that we offer?
So definitely, I want to highlight that we actually offer a like a bus sort of membership thing, which the buses are public transportation on island on the entire island of Oahu. So you can pretty much go anywhere you want, including North Shore, but that may take around a 2-hour bus ride. But the cost for that is included within your student fees and you're paying in tuition. So you can take that bus anywhere. I take it pretty much everywhere. You can take it from the student housing to Waikiki into the beach, around 15-minute drive. And then it's a 15 to 20-minute ride to the Ala Moana, which is the largest outdoor mall in the world. It's great. It's beautiful. Um, And then a lot of students will often like walk for between their classes and student housing. I know the longest walk I ever had was around 20 minutes. And then usually once you're on campus, on the upper part of campus where most of the classes are, it's around like a 5-minute walk between each building. So it's very easy to navigate. We also are very much like skateboard, scooter friendly. So sometimes you'll see students with like razor scooters or hoverboards or skateboards just going around campus and zooming. And yeah, we also have Bickies with the bike share program on the screen. That's a rentable bike that you can go and you can pretty much rent the bike and then go anywhere around campus as long as you return it. And that's a really good option too. I've also done that down in Waikiki, like just biking by the beach side. So it's very fun.
Perfect. Thanks so much, McKaylin. Appreciate it. Yeah, there's definitely so many different ways to get around. The buses are much nicer than some other locations in the world. That's all. I'll leave it at that. You can use your imagination, but they're very clean, very safe. So if there's parents here, don't worry. It's really not. It's not an issue. So. Now, I know there's definitely so many different ways to get involved. So I know that we have over 300 different student clubs. McKaylin, do you mind talking about some of the different clubs and different ways to get involved here on campus?
Definitely. So my first 2 years, I definitely made it a mission of mine to try and get involved in as much stuff as possible. So I went to pretty much every single event that like every club offered, including like RAs, because when you live in the dorms, RAs are mandated to put on events like every week or so. And so I tried my best to go to all of them. But at UH Manoa, we have around like over 200, 300 plus RIOs. And those range from really professional clubs like financial, like accounting. I know all of the business clubs are very hardcore. They even have like a sort of Olympics thing where they compete against each other. And then we have like clubs ranging down to like the Disney Ohana Club or the Sandwich Making Club, where they'll make like sandwiches and like give them out to the homeless, as well as our Queen Bee Nicki Minaj fan twerking club. So I say that to say that there's pretty much clubs for everybody at our campus. And even if you don't find something that you want, you can easily start your own. You just need like you, 10, 20 other students to sign and create your own thing. I'm also a part of ASUH, our student government, so we help mandate those clubs as well as put on events as well. We also have a on-campus gym, the Warrior Recreation Center, that a lot of students will go to, and they put on classes that students can go to, like boxing, Zumba. They also offer outdoor recreation classes where you can go like hike or learn how to surf, but that will have an additional cost, but that cost is way less than what you'll get down in Waikiki or like one of the touristy spots. So I highly recommend doing that. Yeah.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Michaela. Now, I know, of course, you have a wonderful on-campus job. Maybe we're a bit biased. You know how it is. But do you mind kind of explaining a little bit more about how students can get on-campus jobs?
Yeah, of course. So we have this cool database called Seke, SECE, and you can easily go onto that and like shop for jobs. It's called like putting jobs into your job cart. You can look at anything that interests you. We have a variety of jobs on campus, ranging from like office jobs, if you want to be like a clerical, like administrative assistant, down to like jobs like being a campus tour guide or even working at our athletics complexes. We have students that will do like laundry or even like help with game watching. We even have like photography, graphic design. There's tons of jobs to offer on campus. I highly recommend it. It's super fun, and they're also super lenient with your hours. Um, I know for our job at the admissions department, we don't have to go to work necessarily on our finals week, which is super nice because then we can relax and like more focus on our school because working on campus, they know you're a student first, an employee second. So I highly recommend working. I love admissions. It's so much fun.
I was gonna say, we're not biased. It's fine. But yeah, there's definitely so many different kinds of jobs for pretty much everything. So you guys never have to worry about that. For those who are incoming freshmen, or you guys, since you guys are all mostly starting in the fall, you want to make sure to go ahead and submit those applications. Not now, or right now would not be good because you obviously can't work right now. But once you're officially a student, once the semester has started, that's when you can start submitting those applications. Of course, we always personally recommend to at least wait a few weeks or a semester if you're an incoming freshman. That way you can kind of experience campus life, experience the different events going on before you have that extra stress. We want to make sure you're finding that balance of fun, classes, and work if you decide to work. No, one of my personal favorite things that I definitely miss most during COVID is our athletics. I know the Super Bowl happened yesterday and they had some in person, but not as much. It was a little interesting. But we have so much school spirit here. I know, Michaela, you love going to the games as well. I've seen Jose there as well. So, Michaela, what is some of your favorite, what's your favorite game to go to? And what was your favorite prize, not prize, but you know what I mean, swag you got?
Definitely would have to say going to men's volleyball games. We are very hype about men's volleyball here at UH Manoa. There's tons of spirit. You'll see like a lot of people, like even our pep band, just like going off and like also giving out free things. We have like a little blimp that goes around our Stand Sheriff Center that will drop off like free coupons to like Zippies or Taco Bell, things like that. It's super nice. And then I've also gotten a lot of free things there. We have this cool app that you can use if you go to different sports games where you check in and they'll give you like either like a free shirt or anything. And if you go to enough games, you can like save up points enough to like get like a TV or even like they had AirPods and things like that. So it's a really cool system. I know my friend was trying to make it a goal to like go to as many as she could just so she could like save up for like the Apple TV because I was like, that's really cool that you can do that. I think the coolest thing I've gotten is I've gotten this really nice like vintage looking UH shirt, which they don't sell anywhere. So I was like very proud of being able to get that for free. And then I've gotten an assortment of mugs. So I honestly, if you come here, you don't really need to bring like many mugs. You'll get a lot of free ones, like just being a student. So yeah, that's definitely men's volleyball.
I know that's always like the big thing is us versus Long Beach State. So for my California friends, I see quite a few of you in here today. Us versus beach, it gets really intense. So that's all. I'll leave it at that. But we're usually first. Long Beach State doesn't agree with us, but we're usually first. So tons of fun. Also, the football games are going to be located here on campus starting in fall. Previous years, it has been located at our Aloha Stadium, about a half hour in traffic, 15 minutes, without traffic, and you used to have to take a bus out there. But now all of our games, at least for the next couple years, are going to be located on campus. So we are very excited for that. They're directly right next to the residence hall. So talk about a 5-minute walk and you're right in the stadium. Super convenient. Now, we do, of course, offer some different study abroad opportunities as well. That's a big thing, of course. I know Jose knows a lot about it as well. At least for Jose and I, our biggest regrets are not doing it. So if you guys ever get the chance to, we highly encourage you guys to do that. We have over 160 different partner universities all throughout the world. You can study pretty much anywhere in a post-COVID world. Please note that. I know I saw as of right now, they were doing meetings this summer for possibly future ones. So I think we're seeing a light at the end of the tunnel. We're very excited for that. No promises, of course. We'll see kind of if the world continues to start opening up with the vaccine. But just know plenty of options available. You can go for a semester, you can go for a full year, you can go for a summer. You can pretty much do there's so many different options. So definitely if that's something you guys are interested in learning more about, I'll go ahead and put that link in the chat. Just please note that you do have to complete at least 1 year or 2 semesters here at Manoa before you'll be able to officially participate in any of these international programs. For the local students, we also do have our National Student Exchange as well. So definitely keep in mind if you want to go do a semester or a year on the mainland, but do it for the price that you pay in-state. That's a great opportunity for students, local students, to be able to go and study, you know, say in Oregon or Washington and see snow for the first time. Well, not first time, but, you know, first time in a while. Unless you're on Maui and you went to, you know, Haleakala, then a different story, but lots of really great opportunities for our students to travel all across the world. I know, McKeelan, I know you didn't get the chance to, but if you could choose one country to study in, or what's the most popular country you tend to see your friends have studied in?
Well, most popular is probably going to be one of those European countries. I've seen like Spain, but I've also seen a lot of like Asia, Japan, Korea. But hands down, I wish I went to New Zealand. I was trying to work that out for a while, but I decided to graduate early instead. So, you know, part of me will always want to visit New Zealand, and I'm going to try to, but you actually can through our mixed exchange. So I highly recommend doing that. Definitely. And if you're interested in study abroad or exchange, get started early, like research and everything, so you can plan academically like how it could work out, because if I would have started looking sooner, I might have been able to plan it out better. But yeah.
Perfect. Thanks, McKeelan. All right, everyone. So now we have reached the end of our presentation. We're going to go ahead and spend the last 15 minutes or so going over the Q&A. Like I mentioned before, we have had over 250 questions asked. And I see we have now even over another 50 on top of that. So we have over 300 questions asked. So we are definitely going to try to get to your questions as much as we can. Just please note that we will go ahead and post them at a later time on our social media pages. So if we don't get to your question now, do not be afraid. We will get to it later. Just give us some time to, you know, sort through all the questions naturally. And we also will have this presentation recording will be uploaded to YouTube. So if you guys don't already follow us on YouTube, make sure to do that. It's just manoa.admissions, nice and easy. So kind of kicking it off with the Q&A, we're just going to kind of bring it up by topic. So please bear with us that we're not going in the order, just going by topic for now. So I know, of course, the big hot question is COVID. You know, what is happening? What are the classes looking like in fall? Is it virtual? Is it not? What's happening? What's housing like? The real answer, and being completely honest with you guys, is the fact it's still too early to completely tell. Just because I know semester is still 6 months away. 6 months ago, things were very different with COVID. So just to give you guys an idea of what we're doing with COVID right now, is basically right now, all of our students, if they opted to live on campus, they still have the opportunity to live on campus. We did not close our housing, so that will still be an open, no problem for fall. What we did is we did it modified, where we had more social distancing protocols intact, where basically we converted all of our doubles into singles, so that way, you know, we had the true 6 feet distance between students, and it's a lot easier to contact trace and everything and make sure our students are safe if they're in singles. We're not sure if they're going to go and stick with the singles or if they'll return back to doubles. I know we are personally hoping that they return back to doubles and where you can have a roommate again. That is fingers crossed if things go well. However, it's just too early to call that at this time. We'll definitely know a little bit more later on, so definitely keep an eye out for that. Also, as far as classes go, right now we are kind of doing a hybrid style. Right now, naturally, more classes are available online than they are in person. Right now, it is about 80% of classes are available online. About 20% of classes are in person. So those classes like the lab classes and those art classes that you cannot really, you can do it online, it's just kind of complicated to do online. Those classes are in person. So please keep a note, that is kind of what we've done over the past year. So if all goes well, the goal is to definitely have, you know, even more classes in person while still offering classes online. So having a mixture of both. So depending on your preference, if you'd rather take in-person classes or online classes, our goal is to definitely have a good mixture of both. What the exact percentage of the classes are, we can't give that at this time. We're still just determining that. But before you go to register for classes in May, we will definitely make sure to have that announcement up of exactly what classes are in person, which ones are not. So that way you have that heads up and you can select based on your preference of what style you would prefer. So we appreciate you guys with your patience. We'll definitely let you guys know more. As soon as we know, we'll let you guys know. So kind of now switching into more about housing. I know there's definitely a lot of questions about housing. So I know, of course, the big question we met, Jose kind of covered earlier was with roommates and how you can find roommates. Michaelan, when you went into housing, how did you find your roommate? I know today we have it a little bit more updated, but what was your strategy, or did you go random?
I went for the old random. I didn't really know much people coming here, but I will say that I did love my first and second year roommates. They were all like random. And if you do not have like a good relationship with them, you can talk with your RA. You can get switch out within those first like 2 weeks, I believe. So it's a pretty good process. Most of the people I meet at UH are pretty nice. So I don't think many people have had issues with the roommates, but yeah, if you want to, we have like an aspect in our Discord channel where people can meet like possible roommates. So definitely use that. Our Discord's pretty new, but yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I just posted the roommate survey over the weekend. So definitely, if you are it's technically we say accepted students, but applied students, you guys are welcome to join as well. I went ahead and posted that link for the Discord page. We have so many different ways to be able to communicate with other students. You can go online, you can introduce yourself. We have different themed topics. So depending if you are into the movies or you want to learn more about the island, or if you want to meet your future roommate on there, or just meet students in general. We have even a transfer specific page as well on there. So all of the links I keep putting in the chat are actually all completely available on the Discord. So everything you're seeing here is also going to be on there. So we got you covered for that. Thanks, Michaelan, for bringing that up. Appreciate it. So kind of now going into a little bit more about, you know, campus tours. I know that was a big question to see, can I come to campus right now? What's happening with campus tours? So campus tours as of right now, they are naturally completely virtual-ish, you know, right now, just because our campus is technically closed at this time for any non-students and staff. Even as staff, we actually are required to check in online with different safety protocols, ensuring that we haven't traveled, we haven't been around anyone with COVID, just because we want to keep our students safe. That's really our big thing, is safety is our number one. However, that being said, we do have upcoming Warrior webinars for virtual campus tours. I believe one's going to be on March, the end of March. I don't know the exact date. But also, we are going to be having accepted student receptions. We'll give more information later on about that. But those will be happening next month. So we're hoping to have more virtual campus tours during that time. So we'll definitely try to do, you know, as many virtual campus tours as we can, especially because, you know, traveling right now is not the safest idea right now. So the date for that campus tour that we do know for sure is going to be March 24th. So just keep that in mind. I think Michaelan, you'll be joining us for that one too. So it'll be lots of fun. So I know there's a lot of questions about applying and how you find your application status. I put a link in earlier. In a moment, I'll go ahead and put that link in again. For scholarships, all right, Jose, I'm going to ask for your assistance on some of these scholarship questions. So I know, of course, we have so many different scholarships between the STAR scholarships and UH system scholarships. So what is your best advice for students who just got accepted? Like, should they just apply to everything possible? Should they kind of specify more? And then do you know approximately when they'll find out?
I would honestly just apply for as many scholarships as possible, even if you don't meet the requirements. Michaelan told you the story of a student that applied and was not even, didn't even qualify. So it was a male student that applied for a scholarship for a female student in STEM, and he got it. I mean, any free money that you can get for college is going to be to your benefit. It's going to be helpful. So I would just apply for as many scholarships, even if you don't qualify for it. It's only going to take some time. So just try to apply as much as possible. Specific to STAR and the University of Hawaii system scholarships, it's going to vary depending on who is in charge of that scholarship, or you're going to be notified whether or not you receive it. So just get your applications in by the deadline, and the notifications are going to be random. They're going to be just dependent on when I guess that individual or that organization notifies you.
Perfect. Thanks, Jose. Appreciate it. I know there's a lot of scholarship questions that are kind of one-off questions. So I'm going to kind of skip over those just a little bit for now. But of course, feel free to email our noaa.admissions@hawaii.edu about your specific exact scholarship question, especially just because we can't look at everyone's accounts right now. So we'll want to make sure to give you that specialized time with those questions. So kind of going more into residency. I know that's always a big question as well. So is there, Jose, do you mind talking a little bit more about WUI? I know you mentioned it earlier, but is there a specific application, or is it just automatic, or how does that work?
So for any of our students that are from the Western states, once again, when you apply to the University of Hawaii, it's going to ask if there's a portion of the application where it's going to ask if you're a Western undergraduate student, and it's going to list all the states that qualify. If you click that box, and once you verify your residency for one of the Western states, if you're admitted, you should get the Western Undergraduate Exchange. So it's part of the application. If for any reason you forget to click that box, you fill it out incorrectly when you get your acceptance or your decision, and it says non-resident tuition rate, email our office and we can send over a form that you can fill out so that we can change you right over to the Western Undergraduate Exchange tuition rate. Okay, yeah. So it's applicable for all students. You just have to be admitted and be from a Western state. That's it.
Perfect. Thanks, Jose. And I'm going to go ahead and put, if you guys have any questions specifically about, the residency inquiry, like residency, if you have a residency inquiry, I'm going to go ahead and put a form that you can fill out. And then one of our residency officers will go ahead and contact you. I know people often have questions about how to get in-state residency. It is definitely quite complicated. I know, for example, coming from California, they do the residency a little bit different. So just please note that if you are a full-time student, you are not able to get in-state residency. Just kind of the way it works. I went ahead and put a link in the chat of the exact details, but definitely you can inquire with our residency officers who will be able to explain for your exact situation how that works. All right, so I know we got so many more questions and we have about 5 minutes left or so. So let's see. Oh, these are some fun questions. And this is it, Michaela, I'm going to go ahead and toss this one off to you, is how much free time is there as a freshman to really enjoy the beauty of the island? Example, going surfing, hiking, etc.
It really depends on the workload you put upon yourself. I will say my very first semester, I only took 12 credits, which is like 4 classes. So I had a lot of free time. I definitely went to Ala Moana almost every day of the week, or at least once a week. And that's why I decided to get a campus job, because I was like, maybe I should be productive with my time. But yeah, it really just depends on the workload you go. I know a lot of students, especially the freshmen, will go to the beach like even at like night, or just if they get out of class at like 12, they'll just go like and surf and just hang out at the beach. So it just genuinely depends on how you organize your schedule. But I will say freshmen tend to have more free time. But it's also because you're going to be taking those general education classes opposed to like more stringent, like concentrated classes, as well as the fact that you're just starting off in college. So I highly recommend you just kind of take it easy like your first 2 semesters to kind of get the hang of it. So yeah.
Thanks, Michaela. And then also, now I'm actually wondering, do you have any experience with intramural sports on campus?
Or my fellow coworkers tried to get me to join intramural soccer, but unfortunately I didn't have my cleats, and I just couldn't find them at the time. I highly I recommend doing it because I genuinely missed out on doing that, making bonds and everything. I also know that I think one of our coworkers who worked in the office actually was able to play like intramural like basketball against students, and so that was really fun to see like our coworkers go up against each other. You can also go against like TAs and professors, so it's a really fun experience. I recommend you guys doing that if you don't want to do any of the professional like Division 1 sports. I know I definitely miss playing soccer, so I should have definitely done that.
So much fun. I love it. Now this is a very, I really like this question. I'm going to pass it off to Jose because he'll say it a lot better than me. So people are asking how to properly pronounce the word Hawaii, because obviously mainland says it a lot different than the local people here.
That's funny. Okay, so it's actually Hawai'i. Hawaii. So the W is pronounced like a V, and then that little dash is called a okina. So it's kind of like it's like a emphasis. So Hawaii. So Hawaii.
Now, how do you properly explain how to pronounce Manoa? I imagine you said the wrong too.
There's a line over the A, which is a kahako. So you elongate the A. So it's Manoa.
Perfect. Thanks, Jose.
Some fun questions.
I love it. I got so excited. I was like, oh, Jose, you got this.
So University of Hawaii at Manoa. Okay.
Yay! Perfect. Thanks. Appreciate it. So some other student life questions. I know there's been a lot of really great questions. I'm just going to go ahead, since we're on our last couple minutes, I'm going to shoot through a bunch of these questions real fast. Just a reminder, we're going to go ahead and post all of this on the Discord page later. I know we had a question about a Facebook group. We definitely have that as well. I will be honest with you, it is not very active, just because we recognize a lot of students do not have Facebook anymore, and most of you guys either use Instagram or another platform. So definitely you can join the Facebook group. You're more than welcome to do that if you don't feel comfortable with Discord. We will be posting on both. Just note that the Discord page is a lot more, it's brand new, but it's already been more lively than the Facebook page. So just know that. For families also, we do have because parents, we know that you are on Facebook a lot more. Welcome to my generation. I feel you. I'm with you on that. We do have a Facebook page specifically for parents as well. So I'll go ahead and I know it's on the parent email that they send out. So if anything, it's just UHM Amazing Ohana. I don't have the exact link of that right now, but let me type that in. So that's going to be the parent Facebook page, and students, feel free, you can join the Facebook group or the Discord, whatever your preference is. I see a lot of students asking about how to confirm if they're going to Manoa, if you're accepted. So definitely I'm going to go ahead and put that link in for that new warrior checklist, and just make sure to go ahead and go on that new warrior checklist. And then on there, there's going to be a button that says how to officially put in your deposit if you're ready to commit to Manoa. And then also, we have about 2 minutes left. Like I mentioned, go ahead and answer those questions. We'll fill out a bunch more. I know we still have so many more to answer. But just to kind of wrap things up, Jose, if you don't mind sharing, not to put you on the spot, and then Michaela, I'll have you answer the same question, what is your favorite thing about Manoa, and what should incoming students, what's your best tip of advice you have for them?
Michaela, I'll let you go first.
No pressure, Michaela.
Hands down the food. Easy question. I love eating food, and there's a ton of different places to eat. We have like a pho place where you can get like macarons, paninis. We also have burgers, a salad bar, sushi, bento boxes, food trucks that offer vegan, vegetarian options. I have like really bomb like eggplant parmesan at this one food truck called The Spot, which also has these delicious smoothies. And then my favorite smoothie place is just like a 5-minute walk down from campus, and you can take our Rainbow Shuttle, which is our on-campus transportation, down to it. It's amazing. Yeah, also our campus eateries down at the student housing have delicious things like brownies, and oh my gosh, their grilled cheese, I miss it. It's really good. Yeah, I really love food. Yeah.
Perfect. Thanks, Michaela. All right, Jose, it's your turn now.
Yeah, there's a lot. I think just in essence, it's just a location. Hawaii is a very, very special place. It's probably gonna be the most unique experience for college that you're gonna have anywhere in the entire world. We're really blessed with really awesome hikes and mountains. Obviously, you're surrounded by ocean, so the opportunity for you to find adventure as a student is it's unparalleled. I mean, you can even go to the neighbor islands. You can go to Kauai, Maui, the Big Island, and every other island has its own personality and its own geographic kind of breakdown. So there's like, you can see snow on the Big Island as well as on Maui. You can go to rainforest. There's a bunch of hikes everywhere. So I think just the general landscape of the islands provides a lot of opportunities for you. I remember when I was an undergrad, I had a group of friends. They were all actually from the neighbor islands. So they were all from Kauai, Maui, and the Big Island. And when I would wake up, they would be coming back at like 7 or 7:30 before class every day, either from diving or from surfing. My friend Mikey had a Zodiac boat that he would pump up, and they would take the Zodiac boat to go fishing and diving. And I used to surf before class as well. So I would go to class with sand all over my feet. And I think, you can do that at some other colleges, but there's no place like, Hawaii in terms of college. You get a good blend of academics, but also good blend of just culture and just adventures too.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I was say I could not agree more. Especially coming here from the continental U.S., living here now, it's really the community here is something else. Like, especially during the entire COVID time period, which has not been, 2020 was not a great year for everyone. But we live on such a beautiful island. We have such the kindest people that live here. Everyone is so warm and welcoming. You walk around campus in a pre-COVID world, people smile and wave to you, and you're like, me? Hi. It's like, oh, hi. And like, you can go up to anybody and say hello, and they'll say hello back without looking at you weird. So it's really, if you're looking for like great education, you can meet friendly students like Michaela. I know she's graduating early, but still, it's really a beautiful place to call home. And obviously it's one of my favorite places. I haven't been here I've been here for about 4 years now. And I wouldn't change it for the world, that's for sure.
This is the best place in the entire world to be during COVID. Hands down.
It is.
Hands down. Yeah.
I know, seriously. I was like, I went hiking yesterday. I went to the beach the day before. I'm like, what's it called? I mean, obviously everyone's wearing masks and being proper, but I'm like, what's COVID? Like, we can do all these cool things, We want to say, of course, thank you all so much for joining us here today. Just letting you guys know, we do have some wonderful upcoming events here. So we have on this Wednesday for our transfer students, we do have a wonderful time to be able to talk with one of our transfer specialists. You get to learn more about the transfer journey. So if you are a transfer student and you have lots of questions, come join us on this Wednesday, February 10th, same time. You can go ahead and register for that on the Warrior Webinars link that I just went ahead and put in the chat. Also, we do have a veteran Q&A coming up next Wednesday. So if you are a veteran and have questions about that and kind of what the next steps are, we have our Veterans Office is going to be joining us, as well as our Registrar's Office and Veteran Affairs and Benefits. I forgot the exact, all the detailed names, but they're all going to be joining us here. So we're very excited to welcome them. We also do have other upcoming events, including, going over registration and covering our honors program. So definitely be sure to check out that list online. So that way you can go ahead and register for the future events like this. And we also will be sending a survey out after this. So definitely be sure to go ahead and fill that out. Let us know, give us some feedback. This is kind of, we want to make this for you all. So let us know what kind of things you would like to see in the future and what you enjoyed. So keep on doing that. But of course, guys, you can feel free to connect with us at any time. You can talk with us on the virtual front desk that is available Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. You can do one-on-one admissions appointments. You can also email us. You can visit the virtual front desk for financial aid. You can talk with our academic advisors, or of course, contact our student housing. Right now, all campus tours are entirely virtual, so just keep that in mind, but we are here to support you absolutely any way we can. So if you guys have such a wonderful day, definitely make sure to join the Discord page if you guys haven't already. I'll put that link in one more time, and we'll be chatting with you all soon. Stay safe, and yeah, aloha.
Take care, you guys.